Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Farah Tasif, and I'm with you with another episode of Global Woman Insight. And tonight, with me, I have another amazing woman leader who has paced her way through all odds, worked in politics, and represented Pakistan not only nationally at highest places but also internationally. Travel a lot, represented Pakistan, and made her mark over the time period. But before I invite my guest to the show, I would really like to say, my heart is bleeding. My heart is numb, and I have no words to say what I should say to those mothers in Afghanistan who had just lost their little ones. They died because of the terrorist attacks there in the hospital, and I could not say anything because it's just not. I'm not finding any right words to say anything to those women who are mothers and who have lost the young ones. My condolences. My heart is there for you, and whatever we can do, it's just so little. Whatever the words that we can utter is only small in front of the sacrifices that you're making. Another amazing thing that happened recently is that my sister from Sikh community has recently won an award, an international award for being a journalist, and she has been reporting about the minorities, about Sikh in Pakistan. It's an amazing story. We will definitely invite her in our show as well, and we'll ask her about her life and journey and the struggle that she had made. So congratulations to that amazing woman as well. So let me invite my guest today. My guest is Mrs. Asiya Nasir. Assalamu
Thank
alaikum, Asiya. How have you been? Thank you so much for being on my show. This is amazing night again, friends. Asiya, it is such an honor to know you. I have been seeing a lot of work that you have been doing. You are on the toes. You are a mother. You are a leader. You are a homemaker. You are working with the communities at the very grassroots level. And everyone in the friends list and who are seeing us, who are just joined us, want to know who is really Asiya Nasir and what is her driving force behind, and what have you done so far in your life that you are reached to this position? Asiya, it's all yours.
you very much, Farah. Thank you very much, first of all, to invite me to this show of yours. And before I start relating what about myself and who Asiya Nasir is, let me join my voice with you in condemning the terrorist attack in Afghanistan, which has really left all of us aggrieved, and the mothers, especially the mothers. And being mothers, I think we can really feel the pain. And secondly, I also want to congratulate our Sikh sister who has got this achievement. I think that it's really great that the minority women in Pakistan, they are really making their way through all these crises, through all this pandemic situation. And thank you very much that during this pandemic, we are safe, and today we are talking to each other.
Each other.
It's
Yes.
really a great blessing of God Almighty. Thank you very much for it once again. And let me say that Asiya Nasir is only a simple woman who has a compassionate heart, and who really wants to see that peace prevails not only in our society but globally. So, my first and my priority is that every individual, every citizen should have equal rights, should have equality with equity, and that whatever we can contribute towards peace building, not in only in our society, in our country, but internationally and globally. Secondly, I just want to say that being a woman, women has a very special role to play, because I always feel that women has a special responsibility towards peace building, because whenever women comes together, they talk about peace, they talk about brotherhood, they talk about love. And so what I want to do is that I want to contribute promoting love, promoting a culture of coexistence in the society. This is what I have been doing all over. And what's the driving force? The driving force is the environment and the society in which I live. When I see a lot of suffering all around us, I think that it really urges us that whatever we can do for our people, for our community, we should do.
Mhm. Asiya, tell us that you belong from Balochistan. You born there, and what has over the time period, what are the professional achievements or the education that you had gained? And since you are from Balochistan, you traveled across Pakistan as well. So, what has led you, and what are the education background, and what are the professional experience and achievements that you had achieved so far? I mean, over the time period, and since that has also led to what the career that choice that you are making and you are right now. So what has led you to be here?
Yes, Farhat, actually, I was born in Balochistan in a very middle class family, and my educational background is that I did my senior academics from St. Joseph's Convent, Quetta, and then after that, I pursued my higher education. I did my master's in English literature. I did a diploma course in participation of women in planning and development from University College London, and besides that, I hold some educational certificates and degrees also. After that, I went for my profession as a teacher, and by profession I have been a teacher. So
Mm.
I did my public service commission, but due to some personal reasons I couldn't join that, so I joined a local school over there. I taught there for 9 long years, but after that, because my father was a politician and he wanted me to come to politics, so that's why. And I had been, since my childhood, I have been seeing elections, I have been seeing my father engaging all these political activities. So I, being the eldest child, I had always been with him. So that's
Mhm.
why he wanted me to join elections. So in 2002, practically I joined politics. But besides
Mhm.
politics, I had been a social worker also, I have been a human rights activist also. I have been engaged at college and university level in all sort of activities regarding whatever crisis broke over the times. I have been there voicing the people who have no voices. So that was a big urge, and that was a big force that drove me to join politics. So in 2002, I practically joined politics, and I always call myself 3 times minority because I'm a woman. I belong to the religious minority, and I come from a smaller province. So it's
Yes,
really, and you know that in this man-oriented society, for a woman coming from a smaller province like
that was the
Balochistan,
question.
how hard it is.
Yes.
It's not an easy journey, or it's not an easy, I can say that, travel. So coming from a smaller province, from a religious minority community, I think that it's a long journey. It's a long journey. When I reflect back my past, I see that how hard I have worked all through all these years. And means many of my friends, they ask me to write books, and sometimes I also think that I need to pen down my experiences for the other women, because I really want to encourage other people. Balochistan is very rich. It has rich heritage. The women, the youth, the men, they are very potential. The only thing is of getting opportunities. The only thing is of getting level playing field. So that's why the women of Balochistan, they are very committed. They are very passionate, and you're going to find highly qualified and educated, capable women in Balochistan. Means it's a wrong perception that prevails. That when I remember that in my early days when I became a parliamentarian, I came here. So people, they were really amazed that women from Balochistan, they can speak English. It was really amazing for them. So. But I think that the people of Balochistan, as compared to other parts of Pakistan, they are very hardworking. They make double efforts because the complexes which they carry through them really urges them to work hard double twice as compared to other people in Pakistan. So I must say that the women of Balochistan today, they are visible at every tier of government. You're going to see women going to every field. Even in the armed forces, you're going to see there have been some fighter pilots from Balochistan, and
Yes.
they are doctors, they are engineers, they are professors, they are professionals, they are politicians, they are parliamentarians. The perception has totally been changed. Now the women, they are really heading to change the narrative that once people held for Balochistan.
Excellent, Asya ji. It is so amazing to see someone, and you are the torch bearer. I mean, you had led such an honorable and in such a great manner that many of the women who see you as an icon. Asya ji, since you had traveled, I mean, there must be some amazing achievements in your life, and of course, your achievement, as you've been saying, that as a woman and as a minority from minority community, and then as from coming from a province such as Balochistan, representing in such a highest level positions in power as well in parliament. So, what over the time period, what have you know, experienced so far? What are the challenges that you know, made you and led you to the position? Although you have your father's support, your brother's support, or community support, you must be some challenges that you had faced over the time period that has made you, even you are one of the part of a religious political party. That is also an achievement, I must say. So what has led you, the challenges, and what has driven you so far?
Thank you very much, Farad, for bringing me to that point, because I just wanted to say that the biggest achievement, I think, was to join a religious political party, Jamiatul Islam, my affiliation with Jamiatul Islam over the years. And I have an excellent experience working with the religious party, because in 2002, I was really a very young girl when I joined Jamiatul Islam. And I think that in building my career and the position or the status which I hold today, my party played a very vital role. Means the encouragement, the confidence which the party they gave me, and the trust which my party placed me. I think that's commendable. Because when I joined my political party, I was the first, I must say, that Christian who joined Jamiatul Islam. And it makes my position very unique, that a Christian woman coming from a religious party. And over the years, I am still very active in my political party, because my inclusion in my party is not conditioned with any political seat or with any, because I have really committed to my party. And I think that my being in this party has really made a great difference. I'll not say that I have brought a lot of changes, but I think that my biggest achievement is that I have been able to make a lot of difference. Now the gaps which were between the minorities and the majority religious parties, I think they are bridged a lot. And there is a better understanding built between the minorities and the Islamic religious political parties. A lot of people in Pakistan now, they are member of Jamiatul Islam, Jamaat Islami, and other religious party. And I think that it's my biggest achievement. Another achievement which I think is that I started to means I am very much known in my community and in my circle, the political circles, for being very vocal in the parliament, for my speeches which I have delivered in the parliament, addressing all the issues, challenges which the minority communities, which women, which all the deprived and depressed sections of the society have been serving through. So I've been very vocal for them. For this purpose, I think that it's a long journey. And when I first spoke out in the parliament, I still remember that many of the senior parliamentarians then, they came and they really appreciated, and they said that today you have raised issues in the parliament. That really encouraged me. And throughout my political career, I have been doing that, voicing the voiceless. I have been speaking out for the women. I'm one of the founding members of Women Parliamentary Caucus. I'm one of the founding members of IPP4, that is International Panel of Parliamentarians for the Freedom of Religion or Belief, because I started raising my voice for the freedom of religion, for interfaith harmony in the country. And today I'm really glad that that all the people are talking the same thing, which 18 or 20 years back I started off. So I think that it's a big achievement. There are a lot of other achievements, because it's say that you have to keep on saying, you have to keep on voicing, because if you are going to keep silent, you won't help the weaker people. So
Yes.
I think that it's very important to have some strong voices to be heard at all tiers of government, at all tiers of society. I think that it's not that I have been vocal in the parliament, but at all forums wherever I have traveled extensively to many important forums nationally and internationally. And wherever I went, I always talked about love. I always talked about human rights. I always talked about the principle on the basic rights which every religion teaches. And I think that I feel that myself that I am an ambassador of Pakistan, preaching peace, brotherhood, and love all over the world.
And amazing again, friends who had now joined us. You have a lot of wonderful. I mean, we have wonderful conversation is going on with Mrs. Asiya Nasir, who's remained as parliamentarian. And I must say, Asiya ji, you are ambassador of not only peace but interfaith harmony as well, because of your presence in a religious party as well. So my question would from you would be, what are the knotting points? I mean, there are points that you build the okay, you have the personality of yourself as you build or aura around you, but there are certain challenges and there are certain ways that you need to build allies around you. So how did you manage to navigate through those difficult times, especially when you talk about interfaith harmony, women rights, child rights, and issues related to that, and then you build through, and slowly, I know 20 years is saying easy than done, I mean, but you had navigate through. And what has made you building allies? How did you manage? It is the knowledge that you had brought on the table. Please share those kind of important actions that you had taken, because many people who would like to follow you may also practice those things.
Thank you very much, Farhat. I think that it's very important and people need to know this. And I think that we need to share our experience with the coming generations, with other young women, that how it can help them. I think that today we are living in an era of collaboration and networking. And today, I think that no nation, no individual can claim to progress in isolation. So we need to have networking, we need to have collaboration, and it's very important. So I think that I very early I realized this, that alone I cannot do this. I need to have a lot of voices coming from all around. I need to build a lot of connections. I think that in this respect, I started lobbying. I started doing advocacy within my circles, especially within the parliament, with the like-minded parliamentarians. And that's why I'm saying that IPP4, that is International Panel of Parliamentarians for the Freedom of Religion or Belief, I was one of the founding member in 2014 when this organization was first formulated in Cambridge in 2014, and then in 2014 Oslo we formally announced this group of parliamentarians, and we all agreed to a declaration. After that, the same year, I came back to Parliament and I talked to my fellow parliamentarians. I really tried to persuade them, and I'm really glad that most of them, they agreed to me. There was no second opinion, and we established first ever national. It was a group of parliamentarians across party lines. We came together and we established a group in the Parliament of Pakistan, a caucus for the minorities to raise their voices. And I think that the highest achievement was that more than 60 parliamentarians from the majority group, they were a part of that group. And I think that whenever I spoke out in the parliament regarding the rights of the minorities or women or the suppressed humanity, not only in Pakistan but wherever in the world, my party, they supported me. I think that my achievement have been that I have been able to convince my party. And whenever I spoke my party, I remember the two incidents when one of the ministers, Mattai Shabazz Bhatti, he was Mattai. At that time, I spoke in the parliament, and I was really glad to hear that my party leaders, they stood up and they said that whatever Asiya Nasir has said is our party policy. Yes. And that happened, I think, many times, that whenever I spoke out. So it means that my party was convinced that whatever I was speaking, whatever actions I was taking, it was justified. Secondly, I also participated in many of the legislations. I tried to bring in a lot of amendments to bring improvement in the lives of women, in the lives of children, in the lives of minorities living in Pakistan. And during the last tenure, I submitted 14 amendments and bill in the parliament, out of which 4 or 5 were taken up by the parliament, or 2 or 3 they were really they were passed by the law committee and they became a part of the law. uh, Same like this, in 2008 I went to a university college to do a diploma course regarding participation of women in planning and development. And when I came back, I discussed this idea with that at that time, Dr. Famida Mirza. She
Yes.
was speaker at that time. I discussed with her that we need to have some sort of women parliamentary caucus across party lines in the parliament. And I think
Yes.
that I'm glad that she took my idea seriously, and it's her brainchild, and she
Yes.
materialized this idea. And later, Women Parliamentary Caucus became a success story,
Yes.
and more than 27 legislations for particularly for women were passed from the platform of Women Parliamentary Caucus, and it's operational and it's really functioning very well in the parliament. So these are some of the achievements. And besides that, I have been commissioner, the ombudsman in Islamabad. He appointed me as commissioner to eliminate child labor. So I have worked in that sector
Yeah.
also for 2 or 3 years. I have participated in many conferences, seminars, and many such training programs. I have been involved in organizing many conferences, seminars, and when I did a series of seminars
Yes.
creating awareness among the masses, especially academia has been my
Yes.
special focus, because I always think that we have a large youth population, and
Yes.
we need to use that youth population as a potential for our country. So
Asya ji, this is so amazing. I mean, I was part of one of your conference, and I still remember I was in awe looking at all the minorities. It was not only Christian or Muslims; it was for all minority communities were there, and it was amazingly arranged. And I mean, that was the epitome of the day that we celebrated. International Women's Day. I still remember, Asya ji. I think that if friends who are listening to me, you must be documented. There should be a documentary made on you because of your work that you had done. I mean, this is amazing. Asya ji, since you've been working in with the parliament, I mean, parliamentary work is your, I mean, forte. You had been into the parliament, putting forward the legislations. I see. I hope that you agree or disagree. You have to tell me that in the parliament there is a difficulties in not only putting forward legislation related to women or moving them forward, but also related to the minorities. It's always been difficult there in the parliament to do that. So how would you say that, and how would you say that over the time period, did these difficulties or challenges had increased or decreased? I mean, about the awareness among the parliamentarians or those people, because we have seen a lot of those people coming back and forth who are there in the parliament for the last many years. But what are the challenges related to the women, especially about the issues? Although women like you had, played a very important role, but I don't know what is happening right now in the parliament.
Yes, Farat, I must say that I'll agree with you that it has always been very difficult and very challenging for women to bring forth any legislation. I still remember the times in 2002 when I was first elected. At that time, it was first time in the history of Pakistan that a large number of women they were elected because we had a quota for women seats also. So there were almost 73 women in the parliament. So at that time, having access to the microphone was a big challenge for the women, because the speaker always thought that the women they cannot speak. But I'm really glad that not only myself but all the women with whom I have performed there, they have done an excellent job. And today I must say that after 3 consecutive terms, this is the fourth term when there is a large number of women sitting in the parliament, women has have really prove themselves as the best legislators, because according to some of the reports, Fafan's report and some other institutions' reports, women have been top of the legislators, means the top 10 legislators, always they have been women. And more than 60% of the business conducted in the parliament was presented by the women. Either it's the question hour, either it's the calling attention notice motions or adjournment motions, or even legislation. So most of the time, the women, they were very activated. They seriously participated in some of very serious legislation. I still remember when some of my colleagues telling me that we don't understand that why these women all the time they are about agriculture, they are talking about industrialization, they are talking about the foreign affairs. So I told them that why not? We are equal citizens and we have all the right to talk about all the affairs and matters regarding our nation and which are in our national interest. So they
Yes.
always used to say that what you have done for women. I used to tell them what you have done for the men. So today, I think that I really hold my head very proudly that women parliamentarians and politicians, they have really made me proud, because a lot of legislation have been brought in regarding one of the legislations, that is harassment against women, then
Yes.
acid throwing
Sorry.
bills, and then there were anti-women practices bill. I myself have
Yes.
been part of all these bills.
Yes.
Then domestic violence bill, although
Yes.
there were some difficulties and complications due to which domestic violence was not passed in the parliament. And
Mhm.
I think we should not blame only one political party, because I am witness that men from all the political parties, they stood together and they really they showed a great resistance that this domestic violence bill should not be passed in the parliament, and still it is lagging behind. And still I'm very much hopeful that a women current parliamentarian sitting in the parliament, they will look into it, that all the
Yes.
legislations regarding women which were left behind, they will continue that, they will take that legacy, and they're going to go and through those bills. And I have also played a role of as a mediator between my political party
Yes.
and the women caucus, so that whatever legislation, because most of the time it's a blame on the religious parties, that they are the ones who are not letting the women
Yes.
to pass on. But I think it's not the matter, it's not the
Matter.
fact, because
Exactly.
men are men, no matter to in which political party or to which political party they belong to. So most of the time, a lot of resistance was shown by the men, and I think that it was very challenging for women. Many times it became very challenging for the women. It's not an easy task. So if it's difficult to bring forth legislation for women, how difficult it is to bring for the minorities. I'm not really proud of myself, but I'm glad that was I was able, and God Almighty gave me this courage and strength. I was the first one to raise my voice for 5% quota for the minorities in all tiers of employment, jobs, and in educational quotas. And I'm really glad that in 2008 all those my efforts, they bear fruit, and 5% quota was allocated for the minorities. I raised my voice for representation of minorities in the Senate, because we were not represented in the Senate. And in 2008, I'm glad that my struggle was fruitful and we got representation in the Senate. Similarly, many more things like this, which has really made a great difference in the lives of people living in the of religious minorities living in the parliament, has really made a great difference. And I think that these are some of the I'm not going to say achievement, because it's a teamwork. I was not alone. I was supported by my fellow colleagues, my women, especially. I must say that women parliamentarians, no matter to which religion, to which political party they belong, they always supported. They always supported me, and I really pay a lot of tribute to all those women who supported, because women, I must say that they have a compassionate heart, and they can
Yes.
feel that what the minority women they suffer through.
Yes, amazing again. And we feel honored to have you in our show, in our episode. And those people who have just joined us, we are in conversation with another amazing woman who has represented Pakistan not only at national level but international level as well. And she has amazing heart. She is a peace activist, human rights activist, and been in the parliament and doing a lot of work for not only minorities but women across board. Asya ji, as you also represent minorities in the parliament, um, uh, keeping aside all the other challenges, legal or social or political, what are the challenges within these minority communities that they are facing right now, and how can they be able to come out of those challenges? For instance, about education, they have been given a lot of rights, but they don't know about those rights, right? So, what are the challenges that they are currently facing, and how they can come out from that? We would like to know about that as well, and
Yes,
how
Farah.
you are advocating and from asking them to move forward. For example, like yourself, there are a lot of people that I see, and in my friends, they came out like blossoming like anything.
Yes, Farad, I must say that speaking out in the parliament is a different experience. And when you come to the ground realities, bringing those means things, what you speak in the parliament, when you want to translate into reality, it's really very, very challenging. Since this time in 2008, I couldn't go to the parliament, and I have, I'm no longer in the parliament. I have more time to give to community development. So, for this reason, a group of like-minded people, they came together with me. They asked me that we want you to take lead and let's work together for community development. So we established a group that is called Pakistan Christian Forum. Actually, I am not very much in favor of having different groups or segregated groups, but it's only to bring or create
Focused.
awareness
Yes.
among the community. So one of the biggest challenges, which I must say that the minority communities living in Pakistan, they are facing, is lack of education, lack of ignorance. And because
Yes.
of lack of education, I think all the other challenges, they are emerging.
Yes.
Because when they don't have quality education, they don't have they are not highly qualified, they cannot qualify for good positions or good jobs in
Yes.
the country. So, if we want to mainstream the depressed or the neglected communities in Pakistan, we need to bring them up. We need to work for their uplift, and I think
Yes.
education is the only option. Although
Okay.
it's a
Yeah.
long-term policy, but there's no other option without education. So I
Yeah.
started working on education, and I started education support program. Since last 2 years, I'm working on it, and I have initiated a scholarship program for the under-depressed and under-suppressed communities living in very coming from very low profile status,
Yeah.
and we are up till now we have been able to sponsor 50 students for
Mhm.
the higher education, also for the civil services examinations. This time year we supported 6 students who appeared in CSS exams, and I think that it's not matter of numbers. I always say that if I'm able to raise 10 students with quality education and make them, I must say that, better citizens,
Yes.
I think that it will be going to a great achievement. And this scholarship program is run with the help of the local community. We
Oh,
don't have any donors, because, and I want to create awareness among our people that now the time
yes.
has come that we need to give back. We don't
Yes.
want to look towards any donors. We don't want to look towards anyone outside, but why not ourselves? Those
Yes. Yes.
of our community who are blessed, they need to share their blessings with those of our unfortunate brothers and sisters who doesn't get these opportunities. So these
Yes.
are some of the work which I'm doing now. And you already know that I have taken another
Yes.
initiative that is called Women Initiatives Network.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to bring all the women together, and the one point agenda is that what role women can play in our society, in our country, and how we can help out our country to come out of the challenges. You know that
Yes.
our dear country, Pakistan, is a terror-poked country.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that it really leaves a big role for the women to play in. And no country can progress when the 50% of their population sit inside homes. So I think
I
that
think
whole
that yes,
population
exactly.
has an equal role to play in.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Asya ji. You have brought such an important, information as well. And those people who are in my friend list and who are listening to me, I must say that they must come forward. For example, there is Rehan Alawala, who has recently established Rehan Foundation as well. And then they are supporting a lot of these kind of initiatives. And I would like to call him for that matter to come forward and collaborate with you in supporting these kind of initiatives, especially as you know, Asiya ji, technology is very important. I hope that you must be doing something related to technology with these minorities as well. As you see in coronavirus and these kind of stuff that are happening and challenges. Although though I mean, coronavirus was not here before, a year, 3-4 months ago. But technology has remained an important part of our lives. So, how are you contributing in building those minority communities to come forward and engage in technology, apart from using phones? I mean, the smartphones, really.
Yes, I think that it's very important issue because now we are moving towards techno-based society, and it's very important. And one thing I just want to say that why I'm working with the minority communities, because I think that they are the most neglected and they are most
Yes.
deprived segment of the society. So our
Yeah.
minority community, we take in pride that sometime in the history, in the beginning days of Pakistan, we really contributed largely in
Yes.
educating the masses and in the health services. But why that status of ours declined with the passage of time? There are numerous reasons behind them. There have been some legislations. There have been some you can say that unfriendly environment and circumstances. But I blame none. I blame myself. That it's our responsibility. We want to help out the state. Although it's this responsibility of the state, but I think that
Yeah.
it's our responsibility also. It's the
Yes.
responsibility of every citizen of Pakistan who is educated, who is blessed, who have a good life in living in Pakistan. I just want to see my community and other religious minorities living in Pakistan to be very to be an asset for the country, not a liability. So that's why
Exactly.
I just want to bring my people up. I just want to educate them, and I think it's very important. We have been working in it. We have been providing computer centers in different slums and different localities, so that where those children who cannot afford, they can come and have free computer trainings and courses. But besides this education support program and this scholarship program, we are running YDIP program also with some of the organizations like Park Mission Society and Pakistan Partnership Initiative. I'm collaborating with them. They are
Mm-hmm.
helping us out. We are giving internships to the youth, to the
Oh,
fresh
wonderful.
graduates, and to
Excellent.
the master's students. We are giving them 6-month paid
Oh, wonderful.
internship
Wonderful.
where we send them to different organizations, different institutions,
Wonderful.
so that they get first-hand knowledge, they get first-hand trainings and experience,
Mm-hmm.
so that when they go and compete in the market, they really prove themselves. So
Oh,
we have
excellent.
very close eye on that also, that we need to train our children to be experts of IT, because I think the coming future
It's all
is
IT.
yes. So it's
It's all
very
IT.
important.
So,
Yes, it's very
Asyaji, if
important.
somebody wants to be in contact with you, how can they be in touch? For example, there are a lot of people who are seeing right now, friends who might see later. They might be interested to collaborate with you, especially related to the initiatives that you had taken, especially related to IT. There are friends who had recently initiated several important initiatives related to, for example, technology for the women, technology for the men, paid internships as well. And there are a lot of opportunities that are growing around me. So I think that you may share that where should they contact you, so that I can either on the Facebook or wherever. Let me know, and then please share where they can approach you. I mean.
Yes, I think that we have a Facebook page, that is Pakistan Christian Forum Facebook page, like Park Mission Society. We have a website. They can I can share you the contact details with that. They can contact me personally. They can contact my team, my office, and they are welcome. And I think that our youth internship program is very interesting. Means people, they really get very interested in that youth internship program. And I think that it's not only that I'm working with the minority communities. I work with the majority community also. So whenever the majority community come, I work with them also. Another thing, important thing, that I have been working with the youth of madrasas also.
Oh,
Because
wonderful.
I think
Amazing.
that,
I mean,
yes, in
wow.
Balochistan, I have visited many madrasas. I think that is very important. They are
So,
also very
yes.
important segment of society. We
Yes.
cannot neglect, or we cannot deny their existence. because I think that madrasas are doing, some of the madrasas, they have over the years done an excellent job also. They
Exactly.
have provided free boarding, lodging, and education to those means poorest of the poor segments of the
Yes.
society.
Yes, I
I
can
think that we need to look into that also, that how we can help out with the modern studies, with modern technology, and how we can introduce them to all these subjects. So, with the help
imagine.
of my colleagues in my party, I have been doing this job also.
Oh, wonderful. That's amazing, Asya ji. And this conversation is so, I mean, thrilled. I mean, so honored to know that your work is phenomenal. In fact, that you had not took all those challenges in your life as strengths. You rise up and you made your mark not only for your own community, but you had made it as a building block for Pakistan as prosperous and beautiful country. Asya ji, there are a lot of young people who might be listening to us right now. They might be in conversation. They are sending a lot of love to you. Asya ji, how we best prepare ourselves for the future, not only minority, but majority as well. How best we must prepare. And what are your ingredients in your life? And what are your practices in your life that made you what you are today? So, yeah, I mean, it's amazing that people might learn from you that what are the daily practices that you used to do, or how can we prepare ourselves like you?
Uh, yes, Farad, I must say that I'm not an extraordinary woman. I think that today the young people who are listening to me or who are seeing me, I think they are very much uh, intellectual. They are much, much more capable, and they have more capacity than us. But the thing is that two things I always say, that be obedient to your parents, always respect your parents and your elders, and be loyal to your God, be loyal to your Allah. I think this is two things which I have always kept as priority in my life. Secondly, I must say my message to the young people is that there is no shortcut to success. You have to work hard. And I always say that somebody wise has very rightly says that give me the youth, and I will leave everything rest, because the future of the nations rests in the hands of our youth.
Yeah.
Because you see that it's not the buildings, it's not your fortifications, it's not your modern bridges and roads and all that. The progress of a nation lies in its budding youth. And I think that
Exactly.
we need to invest more and more in our youth. We need to care of our youth. We need to have some guidelines. We need to have some strategy and policy for our youth. Up till now, I think that in Pakistan we have failed to pave that guideline or build that pathway for our youth. It's very important, because I think that the future of Pakistan lies in the hands of the youth. One another thing I must say, I must tell my youth that no matter to which religion, no matter to which province, no matter to which caste, creed we belong to, we all are Pakistanis. Pakistan is our land, and if we want to secure the future of Pakistan, I must say, and I have always said it at all forums, that no nation can progress politically, democratically, educationally, economically, socially, until and unless it guarantees equal rights to everyone.
Yes.
It's very important to respect everyone, to respect every religion. Being a fragmented nation, we cannot progress. We'll reach nowhere if we are divided in sects, if we are divided in religions, if we are divided in linguistics or in provinces. So, as we need to emerge as a one nation, we need to remove all these differences and emerge as one Pakistani nation. It's very important. And I think that I see a very bright future of Pakistan. I am an optimist. Whatever people say, I see a very bright future of Pakistan, because we have very talented young people in Pakistan who have the passion, and who are very much committed to the progress
Yes.
of Pakistan.
Yes, exactly. And you know, Asya ji, love you for this wonderful message. I mean, I am on the top of world, and many of the people who are friends who are listening, I wish that you continue speaking and you are into the, you had mesmerized everyone. Wonderful, wonderful message. Asiaji, how could you remain so calm, composed, and you remain as a peace negotiator where a lot of heat is coming from one side to another side? So this is also your characteristics. I see, apart from many years I've been seeing you, you remain so calm like a sea. I mean, and you, how can that be possible? And there are a lot of young people who might be looking at you and they're saying, how can that be happening? So what is the message, what is the insight of Asia that is keeping her calm and cool and peace negotiator and peace activist? You know, for that matter, you need to control your calm, right?
I think it's very important because when you are in a leading role or a leading position, I always say that leaders, they should think with their brains, not with their heart. It's very
Yes.
important. And I think that someone who himself or herself is not peaceful, how they can go and work to build peace, or they can bring peace to the world. I think it's very important for oneself to remain peaceful, to remain calm. And I just one example I just want to give, and I say that I always, whenever I talk to women forums, I say that I hate to call myself vulnerable, because one vulnerable person cannot help another
Another
vulnerable
wonderful
person.
person. Yes.
I'm an empowered woman, and
Yes.
the credit, I must say, that goes to my father, to my husband,
Husband.
to my
Yes.
children, to
To
my
my
family.
children.
They are my force, they are my strength, because they
Yes.
have always stood by my side. They have always encouraged me. My husband is my greatest strength, I must say, because
Yes.
he is the force who
Mashallah.
always urged
Mashallah.
me to go on. So I think that by the grace of Allah Almighty, I have very, I can say that very a family, very supportive family. And besides that, I think that my party has always played also played a very vital role, because they have also, because I remember uh, whenever I used to go for my foreign trips or for any conferences, my party people always used to tell me it's good that you go and tell the people that the Islamic religious people are not like that.
Yeah. More like
So I think that the courage, the trust, the confidence which they placed in me, it really encouraged me. And over the years I learned that to take decisions, you have to be very calm, you have to be very peaceful yourself, if you want to work for the peace of the world. So first you have to
excellent.
gain the peace inside, and then only you can preach and
Amazing, amazing. There are a lot of questions and a lot of mohabbat is coming for your way, and your brilliant career and your, of course, your values that you had carried over the time period, and over the time period that you had done in the parliament, not only but presenting in such a forum as well within your party. Amazing, amazing. There are friends from Nepal who had said, "Wow, Sarijana, thank you." Gulalai from Balochistan is also listening. Thank you so much. Hisam Saab is listening. Is saying, "Mashallah, thank you, Hisam Saab. You need to collaborate with Asiya ji for building and empowering youth, I must say. And I will definitely be asking a lot of friends who are empowering youth. They can rally with you, and then you can further work. So Farooq Saab has been saying that a lot of power to you for doing such a wonderful initiatives. A lot of love is coming towards your way, Asiya ji. I'm humbled and I'm honored that you had made this forum more worthy. And thank you so much for such an amazing work that you have been doing. And I must say that it's not just only a single woman, it's the allies that you built. It's, of course, that you rightly aptly said that within you, if you have peace, then you will be able to bring peace around. And if you are feel empowered, then you feel give empowerment to another one, right? And then, of course, young people, I have seen you empowering young people there in the conference that we were there. Thank you so much for your wonderful time. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, I have tagged Asiya ji in this conversation as well, and in the later conversation as well. You can see this conversation of ours, this Global Women Insight, is all about letting those, as you said, Asiya ji, rightly, that we need to continue raise our voices and let people know that these kind of epitome of wisdom and activeness, of course, and peacefulness are working in the parliament, remain working in the parliament, and they are continuously, either they are in the parliament or not parliament, they're continuously working. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much, everyone who had joined us for this amazing episode. I must say that everyone who is listening, they should listen to what Asiya ji has said, that there is no shortcuts. You have to build your knowledge, you have to build your education, you have to build your your own personality, so that you'll be able to be respectable in front of the elders, and without knowledge you will not be able to do that. Thank you so much, everyone. And with that note, and I would also like to request everyone to stay safe, stay at home, and continue practicing whatever you do at home, and listen to amazing stories. We'll come back again on Sunday night, inshallah, with another amazing episode of Global Women Insight. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night. Allah
Good
Hafiz,
night.
Asiya ji.
Thank you very much, Farah. Thank you very much. You are an inspiration for me.